Oh no, no, I got it. Hold on, hold on. Oh boy, you guys, you guys. Whoa. Yeah, because I don't see it on here. Did you start it? No, it's trying to catch up. Yeah, I'm looking. Lies, lies all over here. Do not play with my emotions. No, here you go. I got it. I got it. Do I got an Android? Play with me up here. I'm supposed. Don't be a stumbling block. Okay, we got a lesson to do.
Excuse me, Maury.
Huh?
There's nothing wrong with androids. Now, come on now. You know I got to speak up and defend androids.
You see,
You see what you don't start it now?
stumbling blocks.
That is not a stumbling block.
You're not helping your case. You're not helping
All
your
right,
case.
man.
All right, we'll say that. Let's say that for another
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, another conversation.
Y'all ain't counting the cost. Y'all already messing up. This is the fourth lesson. Y'all done forgot
Hello, Maury.
all that we done talked about. As a matter of fact, let's go over what we done talked about since y'all done forgot. Okay, so the first thing we talked about, do you remember what the first thing, anybody remember the first thing we talked about?
Raise your hand and talk.
Anybody? Go ahead, Yama. What's the first thing we talked about?
Shalom, shalom, Mishpachah. That was interesting. Well, the first thing that we talked about was accepting the invitation and that we're all students.
Okay.
That's the first thing. And we talked about study methods. We talked about understanding. We
Okay,
talked
that's the first
about,
thing. Hold on.
oh,
Come on.
okay. So we basically talked about the higher order of thinking,
Okay.
the Bloom's taxonomy and moving our brains to a higher level of thinking.
All right. Hallelujah. All right. What was the second thing we talked about? Anybody
Um,
remember?
the, se- oh,
Get somebody else a chance.
I
Get somebody
yield,
else.
I yield.
I'm gonna need you to wake up and remember you're not in Texas no more, man. You in Virginia.
I need two screens, so when it keeps
You ain't never had two screens. You ain't never had two screens. Ooh, Father. Anybody else? Part two. What do we talk about in part two?
I
Yeah.
know, Maury.
Oh, wait. Somebody else got to know. Can't this be you? Come on now. Okay. I'll start calling names. I will. Huh? No, I'm not. It's just that I would really like to know is people remember what we talked about. Huh? All right. Hey, click the mouse. You remember the second lesson was if you are a believer versus a follower. I guess that answered that question. Huh? No, I guess that answered that question. What was last week? Oh boy. Oh, go ahead. You said be yourself. That's what they doing. Go ahead, man.
That was
Use the black one, the black mic. That one's a little too high. That's not. It's not 9. That's my mic.
Well, I do remember a part
Might
of
be
it
11.
was in terms of what is our purpose concerning Yahuwah and how we are to be ambassadors for him to show who he is and his goodness to others. So like the role that we play in that aspect. I remember that part.
Remember, it was to consider your ways. All right. So you can put her hand down. So now we've come to part 4, where you have to condition yourself with all this stuff that you all supposed to remember, but you didn't. It's okay. It's all right. It's all internalized. I got it. All right, somebody, come on. Give me the disclaimer. Go ahead. Somebody.
I want a warning. I want to take this time to explain that this lesson and the lessons thereafter are not based on any one individual, whether in this assembly, locally or abroad. These lessons were not developed by myself alone. Yes, the Father has something, if not all, to do with them. If these lessons hit certain points that you feel or believe have something to do with you, all praises to the Father. Take that knowledge and apply the solution to your life. Do not take anything personal and miss the message that is being given to help solidify your salvation.
All right. Let's go to the rules.
Rules that will be used.
No. Somebody else got to do that. Can't put it all in one person. Come on, y'all. No. How about somebody online? You did disclaimer. Hallelujah. Okay. Go ahead, Naman.
Rules that will be used for all lessons. Please keep your mic muted, except when asking or answering a question. Use the mic to speak. There is a feature in Zoom in the meeting room where you can raise your hand if you have a question or statement. Also, here in the assembly, if you have a question or statement, raise your hand and speak into the mic for everyone to hear. All questions, answers, and statements must be on topic. You can only answer one time per question or statement. You have 60 seconds to ask or answer a question. If you pass your 60-second window, your mic will be muted for you. For those who are in the room, you also have 60 seconds to answer a question or ask a question. There are mics that will be passed around that can be used to ask or answer those questions. All statements in the room must be limited 20 seconds. The microphones can be used to share with others that may not hear you online. The rules are due to time and the recordings of the lessons. These are live teachings. We must give the Mori enough time to complete the lessons. This will be mixed with discussions to help build one another. Please do not abuse the time.
All right. They don't always have to do that. What is the meaning of being incorruptible? In layman's terms, huh? Come on, y'all. This is the last lesson. Y'all, I need some participation. Just a little bit. Take a guess. Namana?
It means not to be damaged, not to be soiled, not to be corrupted, not to be turned away.
Okay. Anybody else? So I guess. Yeah. You might want to take. Okay, go ahead, everybody. Go ahead. Go ahead. I see how this is going to go today.
Incorruptible, not susceptible to corruption, especially by bribery, not subject to death or decay, everlasting.
Oh. It's like I'm staring in the mirror. Not susceptible to corruption. So I want to look at the stuff that's underlined, okay? Unbribable. Honest, trustworthy, conscientious. You're going to look at that for a second. Honorable. You're upright. People here upstanding, right-minded. You're moral, you're ethical, and you're respectable. So, all good stuff, right? Now remember the whole point of this, of counting this cost, is what it means to be a disciple, right? To be a taught one. Not just for yourself, but the people around you. Do you have these moral characters? Oh boy, I might as well be talking to the wall, huh? It's opposite, it's a vino, right? Showing or motivated by susceptibility to bribery, all right? And those similarities that you look at is someone who's being purchasable, or they can buy you, all right? You would do anything for a price. Everybody do got, yeah, they do right there. That's,
Everybody got their
if the way you're looking at it, that is a pause moment if you're looking at it the right way. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. Let's keep going. Conscientious of a person wishing to do what is right, especially to do one's work or duty well and thoroughly. The idea is that a taught one, like we said last week, the Mashiach makes study and obeying the Father's word a habit. Right? Everybody does it. I got it. And similarly, the only thing I want to look at that we're going to talk about is persevering. Okay. All right. And that's the opposite of being casual. So conscientious is the personality trait of being responsible, careful, or diligent. All right. Why is that still right there? Conscientiousness implies a desire to do a task well and to take obligations to others seriously. All right. Conscientious people tend to be efficient and organized. And I don't know what this is because the thing is in the way. Yeah, why don't you can't get rid of it? And organized as opposed to easygoing and disorderly. You walk through life with a purpose. Okay. All right, click the mouse. Toda. So with that being said, talking about what is a preservative? Yes, the preservative you're thinking about. What is? There's no trick question here. So I don't need deer in the headlights. Somebody answer. What is a preservative? Go ahead. She needs a mic.
Something that can prolong the life or shelf life of something and prevent decay or some type of like molding or some type of, negative change.
I don't know why you're surprised. She go to school. Everybody put the mics down at that point. A substance used to preserve foodstuffs, wood or other materials against decay, right? All right. So the adjective of that is acting to preserve something. All right, crew? Work with me now. Psalms 143:11. For your name's sake, this is for the sake of your reputation, for your esteem, for your honor, O Yahuwah, preserve my life. In your righteousness, bring my soul out of trouble. Anybody else pray for that? Sure you do. Sure you do. H24:21.
Saya.
Yeah. Say it again.
Saya.
No, that's not yeah. Chaya. Yeah. That's that Yiddish going on. You're gonna get us kicked off it. To stay alive, right? Return to life. This is with the sense to keep alive, right? To keep in the same state of having life or being alive. Sometimes with the implication of preserving the life. Okay. When you ask the Father for help, you are appealing to the Father's character and his faithfulness to his promises. It is an acknowledgement that the Father's actions are ultimately for his esteem or his glory. It is, because that's Lamar's favorite word. You're saying that you trust in him and his righteousness. It's not just you asking him to save you. Because in order for that to happen, you still got to do something, don't you? It ain't dominoes, right? Something for nothing? No. Do you want him? to preserve you. Everybody say yes on that one, huh? Everybody move out the road with that one. Uh-huh. Psalms. Some people salt a little shaky now. It can get too much salt now. Yeah, okay. You're talking about the table salt. Psalms 12, 7, and 8. You, O Yahuwah, will keep them, right? Y'all know this is for safety, to maintain safety from injury, harm, or danger, right? You will guard us from this generation forever. It's to keep watch over. It's also for protection from the corrupt and wicked people surrounding you. And we talked about last week about how maintaining yourself in the word can help you survive with one another, did we not? Oh, okay. I'm just, y'all just saying yes, because we're going to keep going. On every side, the wicked proud, as villainous is exalted among the children of man. Everybody on the same page, though, right? Ain't no wicked stuff going on, no? The Father will continuously guard his people from the evil influences that we face, also to protect us from the harm of such wickedness, i.e., being incorruptible. You see what I did there? I did a pat on my back. Psalms 97 and 10. Oh, you who love Yahuwah, and how do you love the Father? Hate evil. He preserves the lives of his saints. He delivers them from the hand of the wicked. So he rescues them, right? To free them from the harm and the evil, right? And then we got Proverbs 8 and 13. The fear of Yahuwah is hatred of evil, pride and arrogance, and the way of evil and perverted speech he hates. All right, so perversity is a characteristic of deliberately, deviating from what is good. Because I remember when I termed this way, just a little bit. Oh, I forgot about that TV up there. But I'm right here, though. I'm right here. I like this one. All right, Psalms 97, we're going to keep going. This is 10 to 12, okay? Or it should be 11 to 12. Light is sown for the righteous and joy for the upright in heart. It's a continuation from Psalms 97 and 10. We started on verse 11, okay? All right. Rejoice in Yahuwah, O you righteous, and give thanks to his set-apart name. Goodness. Psalms 27 and 1. Yahuwah is my light. He's my understanding. It's my joy. It's my life. And my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Yahuwah is the stronghold, so he's the defense of my life. You see all this stuff he does for you? Of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? All right. This is all stuff that you got to keep in mind if you're trying to be a top one now. We gonna get you your salvation, but you got to at least be on the same page as this, who the Father is and what his word can do for you before you can start moving on past them bookmarkers. Psalms 36 and 9. For with you is a foundation, is a fountain of life. In your light do we see light. What's the light? Okay. It's we outside. Can somebody say that in the mic? Because I think somebody yeah, go ahead. Oh, there you go. All right. So in contrast with the corruptions of the wicked, if you lead an obedient life, you will have security in Yahuwah. You have abundant provisions, you have life and understanding in the Father's presence. So we get that. Are we on the same page? Okay. All right. You have to live in faithful obedience to his righteous standards. By being faithful, you will be delivered from the wicked. Now, does that mean that you're not gonna face any adversity?
No, that wouldn't require
You still got to go through some stuff, right? Can you say that?
Yes, we're gonna have some. It might be a day, it might be sometime next month, but we're gonna have it.
Yeah, it's on. You can.
Close.
Yes, please.
So when it says to deliver from the wicked, you gotta understand that it could be the adversary, it could be the wicked, or even your brothers and sisters that are operating as
No?
a wicked person or wicked being.
There you go.
So he'll deliver you from both.
Okay. Yeah, they probably got the tail end of that, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt you, though. 'Cause So I asked the question, do you want him to preserve you? Now you need to consider who you seek after. Okay? What does it mean to seek something or someone? Hmm? Go ahead. Oh, Narmana?
Shalom, Mori. When
No.
you're seeking after something, you're looking for something or someone. You're looking. That's what to seek. Seeking ye shall find. So you're looking. Like you're looking for the truth. You're seeking the truth in the Father's word.
Okay. Some stipulations with that, but okay. Anyone else? Hmm? Go ahead, man. You want to... Oh, faithful technician in the back. Boy, I got you. Let me get him. Oh, hold on. Go ahead.
Seek after means to strive,
Yeah. Okay.
to look for,
Mm-hmm.
to search something.
Oh. I think she took your job right there. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. So, you attempt to find something, you attempt or desire to obtain or achieve something, and you ask for something from someone. Okay, there's a couple of things you could be doing, right? And this is the H1245. You want to give a chance before I
Bikesh.
So, even though Logos is my favorite program, they don't always say it right. They don't always. It's AI. Yeah, the AI ain't up to par on this one. Find, attempt to do, search for, call on, or consult. So it's more than just looking for somebody, right? With the sense to seek as an experience, right? To earnestly try to encounter the presence of a deity, in this case would be the Father. Right? Romans 3:10-12. As it is written, none is righteous, not one. No one understands. So this is showing spiritual blindness and ignorance. Without divine intervention, people cannot comprehend the Father's truth or recognize their need for salvation. No one seeks Elohim. People who are left to their own devices do not naturally pursue the relationship with the Father. All have turned aside. Together they have become worthless. No one does good, not even one. Now, before I press that button, you got something to say?
Let me see that.
What's wrong with this one?
So when you look at that one, the last part, you said all have turned aside. And you got to understand what they're talking about, because sometimes we start coming together and they look at all of us collectively as turning aside.
Oh, boy.
So if I start passing and saying this to this person and you start agreeing with it, and that person, now we all turn aside, we all become worthless. Even if you just among them but didn't say anything, you turn into this worthless person as well.
It becomes a we problem, not a you problem.
So that's why it's no one does good. Why? Because what's good? If you know someone is wrong, you're supposed to speak up. So if you don't speak up, you become no good. Not even one during this time period that he's someone wrong.
That's a word for you, isn't it? Yeah. So everybody's good today, huh? The G889. You want to give it? You said it.
Achrio.
Somewhat. Little Creole. To render useless, i.e. spoil, become unprofitable. This is somebody who's worthless. So what he's saying is you don't want to have yourself in somebody else's mess that's deemed this, right? because you kept your mouth shut or some other things that you could have done to prevent it. If you getting this? Again, the whole theme of this one is conditioning yourself. So you have to condition yourself to do the right thing and to do what the Father wants you to do to keep yourself out of trouble like this, especially when it comes to being corruptible. Who you seek after. I don't just be writing this stuff just to be writing, I promise you. The G 1567. It's spelled, is parsed out for you right there.
Exeteo.
Right? It's just, oh, you didn't hear it again?
Exeteo.
Wow. The mic is hot. Oh my goodness. Seek out, search for, with the sense to seek diligently, okay? What should we be seeking diligently, right? Numbers 15:39-40. And it shall be a tassel or a fringe for you to look at and remember all the commandments of Yahuwah. Why? To do them, not to follow after your own heart and your own eyes. What does it say there? The people who left to their own devices? Okay. So you have to do the things that the Father wants you to do, not what you think or want to do, which you are inclined to whore after. Not a bit of, yeah. So you shall remember and to do all my commandments and be set apart to your Elohim. That's what all this is about. This is how you seek the Father. You have to do the things that the Father wants you to do, not what you think or want to do, right? So Jeremiah 29:13, you will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Do you all know why he said that? What happened here? It was, I mean, it's pretty big now. What happened? Because y'all probably got something going on right now. Okay. You remember he put some people in exile because they wouldn't do something, wouldn't he? Woo. Man, was it Bible study? Yeah. Don't force the Father's hand to make you seek him, or you can find yourself like the people in this passage. They were experiencing the consequences of their disobedience and were now exiled. Did we know? Or I already said it. No, yeah. Yes.
How would you force you out to? So you put it, ask the question because they may not know that they're doing it.
You can ask the question.
Yeah, put it back on the screen.
Okay. Goodness. At least he ain't jumping the gun this time. He asking questions this time.
So it says, don't force the Father's hand to make you seek him. The question becomes, how do you do that? Because if you might be doing it unknowingly or not, or in ignorance, or you might be doing it and trying to get the Father's attention. But if you are corrupted, you got his attention just in the way that you didn't think you was going to get it. So the question obviously is, how do you force the hand? You know, how it says, don't force the Father's hand to make you seek him. How does that work? So I'll give you one. If you're putting Yah's name on everything, he's coming to see, because his name is on it now. So now he's got to come and seek and see if what you said was true. Now, if it's not, you forced his hand into doing something that you thought he said, or you gave him credit for that he did not do. So that's one. But does anyone know any other examples of that? Okay, let me give you.
He got.
All right.
I think the prayer of Menashe is a good one, where he did not do what he was supposed to do as a king, and so in terms of worshiping the other Elohim, he erected the Asherim and all those things. So he ended up going into exile, and during that time that he was going through some sort of crazy type of torture, he cried out and asked Yahuwah to forgiveness and help and everything like that. I think he ended up getting out of that. But I would say that would possibly be an example.
Okay. Here's a good one for you guys to think about. If your brother or sister is in need, you have it, but you don't give it to him. And it says, and if that person cries out, he's coming after who? The person that could have helped, right? You're forcing his hand because you know better. but you just choose not to do it. So he's coming, now you're forcing his hand, because if you believe he blessed you with something, and then the design of the blessing was to bless you, but also to bless others, but you choose to keep it to yourself. Meanwhile, the brother or the sister is crying out, you might be forcing the Father's hand.
It's a question to the Moray. Okay, suppose you don't know.
To me?
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
So if you don't know, then you're in ignorance. So that's fine. When I say it's fine, I'm saying is that he may send somebody to you to help you with the ignorance. So he can do it that way, or he'll send somebody else because you're ignorant of that time. But he's talking about these willful people. You know, if I stay within the context of the slide, is consider who you seek after. So whoever you're seeking after, we would want to be seeking after someone that knows and not someone that does not know.
Yeah, good. That's good. That's good. It's important to actively seek the Father. It's not a passive activity that requires intentional effort and a genuine desire to find him. And I say, when you hear or see the phrase "with all your heart," you need to have complete and undivided attention and commitment. It means seeking the Father with sincerity, passion, and dedication, not leaving yourself open to your own devices, right? Leaving no room for half-hearted attempts. You can't be all in one day, and then when something crosses your path that you don't like, you got to think about it now. Did you think about it before you even started doing it in the first place? No. Proverbs 8:17. I love those who love me, and those who seek me diligently find me. Wisdom available. What do you mean I don't have space? Wisdom available to all is acquired only by those who love her and seek her. Again, this requires effort, intentionality, and perseverance. You got something?
Yeah, so what I was saying is hide his face. So what I was getting at was, if you think about in Yeshayahu or Isaiah, remember, because of their ways, he hid himself.
Yeah.
Because of their ways. So if you love, it says, I love those who love me. So we already know what constitutes love. So, those who love me will keep my commandments. Then it says, those who seek me diligently find me. So he's saying, I'm not somewhere where I can't be found, but you got to do it in a way that you show me that you love me. If not, it's just like today, oh no, I digress. I won't do that. All right,
That's good. Why you get an example? Okay. Consider your ways and your actions. All right. A disciple of Yahuwah will bear much good fruit. Right? We all bear good fruit here, right? John 15:4. Abide in me, and I in you, as a branch cannot bear fruit by itself. Unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. You could have said that. No? He could have changed some words. But she like the wells in you through the set apart Ruach, right? Providing the life and strength needed for spiritual growth and fruitfulness. Continue on. I am the vine, you are the branches. Whoever abides in me and in him, it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away like a branch and withers. And the branches are gathered, thrown into the fire, and burned. I guess we can't get away from that separation process, huh? Either you're going to do this and you're not. And if you don't, there's going to be some consequences, right? Not always that severe, but it could be. All right, so to abide here is the G3306. It's easy, right? Y'all needed me to say it, do you? Huevos? Wow! I didn't know we crossed the border.
Minnow.
Huevos. Remain, stay, reside, with the sense to continue a certain state, condition, or activity, right? Remember, to abide in the Mashiach means that we continually receive, believe, and trust that Yahushua is everything that we need. I promise you, we talked about that last week, didn't we? Just a little bit. Continue on. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, ask whatever you wish and it will be done for you. By this, my Father is esteemed. All right. Okay. That you bear much fruit and so prove to be my disciples. So pretty much you have to be able to connect with the word in order to have spiritual growth and fruitfulness. All of this only happens when you diligently work at it and you make it a habit. You have to continue doing that. I don't care what title you got. We talked about the maturation process, right? You're going to be mature in the word and you ain't working at it. That's the only time you work at it, huh? The first and the last day. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments. Speaking of which, yeah. Young Keparim is coming, right? You will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be full. You gotta have that connection, right? Yes. Okay, for the new people, full meaning complete. Fruitfulness is a result of the Mashiach's character being reproduced in your life. Once again, your part in all of this is to remain. Which we just talked about right here with the minnow, right? What does it mean to remain? All right, I got 3 things. He may have some more. First, you have to accept the Mashiach as your Savior. What does Savior mean? Besides the Moray. Come on, y'all. If y'all saying the Mashiach is your Savior, y'all don't know what the Savior does? What does it mean? What's that song, Kumbaya? Well, if you know what it is, say it in the mic. I don't. Huh? This neighborhood is nice, but I still gotta have.
Bring salvation.
Or one who saves. Okay. All right. That's the first thing. Second, it means to continue or persevere in believing. That's what we've been talking about, right? Third, it also means believing in loving obedience to the word. Because what's the use of reading the word, saying you understand the word, but you don't apply it? Right? Yeah, it's just a book, right? A branch without life is dead and cut off. It is worthless and therefore is thrown into the fire and burned. Yahushua uses this metaphor of the vine and the branches to illustrate the importance of remaining in him. Just as branches must remain connected to the vine to bear fruit, believers must stay connected to the Mashiach. Is that what happened? Oh, you already had this conversation? Well, hallelujah. We on the same page then, right? What kind of fruit do you produce?
Juicy.
Oh, wow. Galatians, wow. It's Paul's nation all around here. Galatians 5:19-21. And the mic is so good, I heard everything last week, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same this week. Yeah. Now, the works of the flesh are evident. Okay, and the works meaning your deeds, right? Something that people do or cause to happen. Sexual immorality, which is adultery. Impurity, which is fornication. Sensuality, which is lust. And you already know what idolatry is. And sorcery go hand in hand. Enmity is hatred. Strife and jealousy, fits of anger, or rivals. Now, not just going against your brother or sister, but going against the father as well. Then you have dissensions, you have divisions, you have envy. Envy is an evil feeling, a wrongful desire to possess what belongs to someone else. Then you got drunkenness and orgies. I put that together because it's a binge party. an occasion for excessive eating or drinking with more debauchery normally ensuing. Now, I know y'all done had some debauchery in your days now. Huh?
Debauchery?
Debauchery. If you from where I'm from, debauchery. You don't say the debauchery. It's a debauchery.
Well, I'm sorry, Maury. It's debauchery.
Well, you from the desert. I got it. And those and those like these, I warn you, as I warned you before, that those who do such things will not inherit the kingdom of Elohim. Right? A true disciple, remember, that's what you're supposed to be doing, right? What you're striving towards. Doesn't produce and how do I write that? Doesn't produce any of this kind of fruit. I know what it says. What I wanted to say, any of this kind of fruit. The flesh is the problem. And these things are the things that the Father won't stand for. This is why we should not only believe in the Messiah, but also follow him. That was lesson what? 2. All right. It's to keep your flesh from doing what the Father hates. The Father gave us these commandments to help get our flesh under control. Or else you're going to be left to your own devices and do it yourself, right? How you turn this thing on? Oh, it's on. When he come back around here, he gone. These works of the flesh that we just talked about affect our behavior, our thoughts, our words, and our actions in a negative way. Nothing good could come out of this stuff, could it? Well, considering the Father hates it, right? We are fruitful when we are humble, compassionate, and forgiving. These are all good traits that we talked about in the 3rd lesson. These are the things that the Father is looking for in us. Because who are you supposed to be eliminating? Who are you supposed to be copying? I can't say some words sometimes. Emulating. Who are you supposed to be emulating? Mashiach, right? Galatians 5:22-26. But the fruit of the Spirit, or the Ruach, is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, and faithfulness. Gentleness, y'all. You gotta be gentle with these people. It's self-control, really? You don't want to be gentle with nobody? Goodness. Against such things, there is no law. What do you mean by that? There is no law. If you know you have the law, then you have what? It's like 5 of y'all talking out in the wilderness somewhere. Traditions of men, okay. And those who belong to you, to the Messiah, Yahushua, have crucified the flesh with its passions and desires. If we live by the Ruach, let us also keep in step with the Ruach. Let us not become conceited, provoking one another. Let me say that again. Let us not become conceited, provoking one another, envying one another. Come on around here. Come on. Come on, Cletus. You've taken a decisive and deliberate action of putting to death or rendering inactive the things that we just talked about when it comes to the flesh. That's what this all right here, Galatians 5:22 is supposed to be, right? These refer to the sinful impulses, your lusts and your inclinations that are part of the human condition. These are the things you need to be able to get out. That's why you got to condition yourself not to do these things. For some of us now, it's just in us to want to do bad. Some people just love this doing bad. It's a comfort thing. Remember we had that lesson about your trauma thing. Sometimes just doing that makes you feel comfortable. It makes you content in where you're at. Anybody saying it's right. But if you're not conditioning yourself to do this, you condition yourself to do something. Right? To crucify the flesh means to reject and overcome these urges that the Father hates. Okay? If you're not going to crucify that, yeah, all right, he going to crucify something. The truth is that fruit can either be good or bad. All right, a true disciple or taught one who surrenders and is committed to the Mashiach will produce good fruit in their lives because it's going to be a habit and you're going to do it willingly. Likewise, a person who has not surrendered to Mashiach's leadership will produce bad fruit. And I always ask the question, that's nobody in here, right? Everybody's good. Okay. We're almost done here. What is the meaning of the word purify? Y'all should this whole slide. Y'all should know where I'm going with this. I'm glad I sit down. Anybody? Will it be one? Okay, we got the other. Here you go.
Clean,
Oh, okay. Huh?
making clean,
Make me clean, Father. Uh-huh. Go ahead.
To purge.
Ooh, oh man. Getting rid of some stuff. Go ahead now, Mom.
To make pure.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Rabbi.
To make free of anything that debases, pollutes, adulterates, or contaminates.
You use all kind of big words, didn't he? Oh, I put that up there. To make pure. Y'all ready? Yeah, the base pollutes, adulterates, or contaminates, to purify metals, to free from foreign, extraneous, or objectionable elements, to purify a language. And I already have a clean language. What is the meaning of being purified? You're purifying something, but once that's, well, you're being purified now. Now, Amana.
To be uncontaminated, to be blemish free.
Okay. Go ahead.
can it be restored? Restoration.
Oh, I know what it is. Y'all was.
Restoration?
Ah, okay. Yeah, go ahead. You got Rabbi. Yeah.
The contaminants, the adulterates, the pollutes, the debases, they have been removed. You are now cleansed.
To make pure, such as to clear from materials of defilement and imperfection. To be free from guilt or moral or ceremonial blemish. But then you have your purification agent. What is that? What's your purification agent? Oh. We say that. Go back to the old tree. Go ahead now, Mana.
And a chemical, well, I don't want to go that far, but it is something that's used to cause purification in an object or like a person, like Hamashiach Yahusha is like, he can be used example for a purification agent, or the Ruach HaKodesh could be used as a purification agent.
All right. Go ahead, Eva.
Is the word purification? Is your purification the word?
Okay. All right. But on the outside looking in, all right, this means that a compound that is used to enrich, deplete, or isolate one or more components of a solution or mixture. Biblically speaking, in order for us to be pure again, someone who is worthy or righteous and able to cleanse us must step in. The caveat to that is that you have to be willing to let this person and his purifying agent work in you. Or it's why you're doing it. As many times you want to go in that water and get dipped, if you're not going to adhere to what you said you're getting dipped for, what are you doing it for? Because for a bath, wow. Even the youth is getting into this. Go ahead, what you gonna say?
Yeah. So, since the main question you says, what is the meaning of being purifying?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going over some certain levels, some stages of how this works.
Yeah.
But one of the key things that you have on here is to free from guilt or moral or ceremonial blemishes.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things that if we want forgiveness for, or we want purification for, but we don't give it all out, we still feel that guilt, even though that person may say, I forgive you, or things like that, but you didn't purify it in a way for them to do it. You left some things out. Sometimes people that hangs in their mind. And if the word tells us, as the next portion of the agent, if I say the Father's Ruach is telling me something, so as I'm talking to someone, I'm trying to soften the blow, you know, because I don't want to agitate
Offend
or
them.
irritate that person. I just want them to know that I'm over it. Let's keep going. You still hold a little bit of some type of guilt because it can come back later.
You can come back. You leaving the door open.
Yeah, it's
There's nothing wrong with being gentle, but you got a job to do. Is what he's saying. In your purification process, you need to have all of that out. All of it needs to be gone in order for it to be cleansed again. You can't. That's what the dissolvent is for. It's depleting what's messing you up and keeping you from being pure. So if you want to leave some of that, a little bit of that dirt in there, it's going to mess up everything for you. In the terms of being immersed and saying that you're clear and you're free, that's why you ask the question, is there anything else you want to get out before you get in the water? Don't leave that stuff sitting on the table because it's going to be sitting there waiting on you when you get out that water. It ain't going nowhere. You say there's going to be one little dry spot still there. All right? 2 Kings 2:19 and 22. Now the men of the city said to Elisha, behold, the situation of this city, the city is pleasant. And what city are we talking about? Anybody know? Anybody know the story? Well, I know you know. Jericho. Okay, all right. As my sovereign sees, but the water is bad and the land is unfruitful. He said, bring me a new bowl, right? Reference the Father who was the righteous one to cleanse and purify, and put salt in it to preserve and purify. So they brought it to him. Then he went to the spring of water and threw the salt in it and said, thus says Yahuwah, I have healed this water. From now on, neither death nor miscarriage shall come from it. So the water has been healed to this day according to the word that Elisha spoke. Anybody get the gist of it just from that little part? Oh, of course you do. I'm asking, y'all understand? I just read it.
Continue to hold on to it. It's going to manifest, and you're never going to get rid of it. So you have to. You say you want to be, get all of this stuff out of you, but if you hold just one thing,
that's it right there. What are you holding on to? What are some of the things that you won't let go of? That's having the Father, because what he had to show the people why they shouldn't be going the other way that they are, right? He had to prove something. But my thing is, what are you leaving on the table that he has to show you that this ain't the right way? This is what you ought to be considering when you're trying to get into this walk and you're trying to do this diligently. It could be a habit. Listen, your habits can be good or bad. Even in this walk, you can have a habit of not understanding this thing right and doing some of the things that you're not supposed to be doing because you have a habit of not getting the right information or at least studying it out. It can go both ways, right?
So one thing I thought about, and I think I don't know. So when you think about, like, let's just say salt,
Yeah.
right? And you put salt, let's just say everyone knows what happens when you put salt in raw meat, right? It draws things out. In this case, it draws the blood out of certain meat, right? But the thing is, it draws certain things out of you. And we're claiming to be the salt of the earth, we're supposed to be trying to be drawing out all of these things, these impurities and things out of us, and helping others draw these things out. So this purifying, when you deal with it, the salt works both ways now. Because you put salt on something that is like an open wound, it's going to burn. You see what I mean? So we got to understand that in this purifying process, we need to first be drawing the things out of ourselves first. Because if not, we could be putting salt on a wound to somebody else because we want them to understand it from our perspective, our way. But we haven't taken the time to cleanse it out from ourselves, and it creates a problem.
I got a confession after I say this. after I say this, I told you something I had done for this lesson, and it backfired just now. When the salt was put into the water, the situation miraculously improved. This miracle showed the people that Yahuwah, not Baal, the so-called god of fertility, could heal their barrenness. The Father's permanent work on the spring would serve as a perpetual reminder of his ability to bring fruitfulness and blessings out of the barrenness and sterility caused by idolatry. You have to let the Father work. Not only that, but you have to be willing to let the Father work. And not only willing, but be obedient and do the things he wants you to do in order for whatever he's doing to actually work. Now, here's my confession. There's certain scriptures I put in here. It didn't really say anything because I knew he was going to say something. But I tried to learn my lesson from the first three so he wouldn't jump ahead of me. This one backfired because he jumped ahead of me. So let's talk about being salt of the earth.
Talking about salt, where you think we going?
I was on a good track.
We work on keywords around here.
I was bouncing. I had a good step. I was like, dang, he got me. All right. Do you believe that you are the salt of the earth? Okay. Oh man. I guess we're gonna get out of here a little early. What does salt represent in the Bible? Well, he already said it. One way that we can look at it, salt signifies preservation and the binding of a spiritual covenant. But we just want to look at the preservation part. Okay. All right. Salt and discipleship, right? Matthew 5:1. You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet. We'll get to that in a minute. You are to act as a preserving influence in this world, preventing moral decay and corruption by living out and spreading the Father's truth and righteousness. The good news, right? Have to understand that if you, okay. You have to understand that if you're not living according to the word, your influence can be a stumbling block for the person who sees and hears you. That's nobody in here. Because everybody's following the protocol, what it means to be a taught one, right? Everybody considered the cost. Okay. Mark 9:49-50. For everyone will be salted with fire. Salt is good, but if the salt has lost its saltiness, how will you make it salty again? Have salt in yourselves and be at peace with one another. See, there it goes again. You got to be gentle now.
Gentle. I got it.
Okay, you got to be gentle now.
Working on the building.
Yeah.
Let that salt burn you first.
Luke 14:34 and 35. Salt is good, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It's a new part. If it is of no use either for the soil or for the manure pile, it's thrown away. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. You are to be the salt that you would create a thirst for greater information. When the people see someone who walks in the light, they desire to discover why that person is different. That was supposed to, you're supposed to emulate a light, right? This is how salt ought to maintain its basic character in us. If it fails to be salty, it has lost its purpose for existence and should be discarded. Once again, how can you teach or share the good news if you yourself aren't influenced or preserved by it? That's how Sirach closed his eyes right there. He don't know how to take it. Matthew 5:14-16. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give esteem to your Father who is in heaven. Once again, how can you teach or share the good news if you yourself aren't influenced or preserved by it? Remember what we said last week, that you should be emulating the word. A light is meant to shine and give direction. In other words, you need to shine and point others to the proper path. But again, one more again, how can you teach or share the good news if you yourself aren't influenced or preserved by it. You aren't any good to anyone else. Go ahead. Huh? Oh, 5 and 13. Thank you for that. Matthew 5 and 13. I thought you had a good question, man. I was like, Sheree had a question. No, go ahead.
Okay, I hear everything you're saying, but first we got to seek to do the righteousness,
Yeah.
and we have to, in order to find it, we have to diligently search the scriptures.
Okay.
Okay,
You got a question?
you got to strive for it. That's my question. You mean?
Oh, that's your question.
No, that's my statement.
Oh, okay.
But I would say, because her first part she was saying about seeking. So I'm saying is, if you're in this walk, you're already on the path, right? So all we're seeking now, once we get in the path, is to grow and mature in the truth,
Yes.
right? So, but if you've made a decision that this walk is for you, that's your first thing. That's like when you see the person get immersed to become this babe. Now, this baby, as it grows and matures, it learns from the word, from elders, from mores, from everyone that the Father gives gifts to, from the Ruach that lead and guide you to the truth. So you're on that path the minute you decide to do this. But in this process, obviously, there is some stumbling that you're going to do as well, because again, we still are got on our flesh, if you will.
That's why I put all that in order. The seeking in the flesh. Yeah. All right. Last one. What seasonings do you use in this walk? Paprika. Okay. What does it mean to season something? Yes, in the general sense. Okay, you can say that. Yeah, you can actually say it. You can actually say it.
We want it to taste good to us, so we season it the way we like it.
Oh, that's a key word, huh? The way we. Not a mono?
To season something, to make it palatable, to make it of good flavor and appealing.
No. Yeah, all right. One more. Anybody else? That's all right. That's all right. All right. Salt or an herb, spice, or the like for heightening or improving the flavor of food. Now, this is what we're talking about, the process by which a person becomes conditioned, being trained in something or seasoned. Wait, why are you gritting your teeth? I thought you had something to say. Usually when you do that, you got something to... when you do that, you got something you want to add. Oh, okay. I was waiting on it. I hadn't heard it all this. Colossians 4:5. All right, walk. We all know what the walk is, right? To live or behave in a specific manner in wisdom toward outsiders, making the best use of the time. Okay. Mark 4:11-12. And he said to them, to you has been given the secret of the kingdom of Elohim, right? Give us special insight of the kingdom of the Father, right? It's to a specific people, though, is it? But for those outside, everything is in parables, so that they may indeed see, but not perceive, and may indeed hear, but not understand, lest they should turn and be forgiven. Huh? Yeah, you want to bring that up next week? Huh? Yeah, he could. You can use this one too, 2 Corinthians 4:4. In their case, the Elohim of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel, the good news, of the esteem of Mashiach, who is the image of Elohim. All of that was lost on him, all of that. Yeah, the good news was rejected by people who were unable and unwilling to accept it. You remember a couple slides ago, we talked about spiritual blindness, right? And the ignorance thereof. I think he was in both of them categories. I'm just saying. Huh? A secret whose concerned party is the Father alone and those to whom he chooses to share the information with. This is to say that those who believe, which in this case were the disciples, were given the secrets of the kingdom of the Father. Right? But, hold on. But to those on the outside, the outside is the circle of the disciples, the unbelieving crowd, everything, his whole message, his mission was stated in parables. The word parables here has a special sense of an enigmatic speech, or it's an enigma, right? Enigma. It's a mysterious speech. The crowd did not really understand what Yahushua was saying. When you reject the good news simply because you're unable and unwilling to accept it, it will be hidden from you. Or is it okay to say that it might stir up some pride in you and push you back a little bit? It's at different times. You say what? It believes what?
I says it's true, because when you think about it, though, like those that don't believe in the Mashiach, they take his words literal. They don't see it as the parable. You got to remind them he did say it was the parables but they don't see themselves as the unbeliever. They see themselves as the believer because they believe in the Torah.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, they don't believe in who he is. So he's speaking in parables for those that have an ear to hear. Let him hear him.
Yeah.
But they're trying to use the Torah to counter it and say, "Oh, they said drink my blood. You know that's against the Torah."
Yeah.
And you be like, "What?"
It's a heart thing at that point. You gotta get that out your heart, man. And that's what I'm saying about accepting it. You don't. Well, not even accepting. How about having some accountability towards it? That's a part of accepting. But if you get that pride in your heart, where's it gonna come from? Colossians 4:6. Let your speech or your communication with others always be gracious or favorable. Oh my goodness. Or resulting in genuine goodwill, friendly, helpful, or cooperative feelings or attitude. That is exactly what's in the book. Seasoned with salt so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. This is the last slide. G741.
Artio.
Say it again.
Artio.
You can roll the R you want to. I ain't. Seasoned with salt, with the sense to arrange, prepare, make ready of things requiring a skill or cunning. You have to condition yourselves. Your speech should be not only pleasant but also wise and engaging. Salt adds flavor and preserves. So speech that is seasoned with salt is both interesting and wholesome. We all are wholesome people when we talk to each other. It avoids being dull or harmful, but instead brings value to conversations. There has to be a need to have thoughtful and considerate communication, reflecting the character of the Mashiach in all interactions. I did not say that he talked all nice and fluffy with everybody.
If I'm having a dull conversation with you.
Any questions or comments pertaining to the lesson?
Ashley Kamari,
Yes.
that one word, artu,
Artio.
artiro, Torah. I was just writing down that definition. One moment, please.
All right.
No, can you please go back? Just one moment, please.
While she's doing that, any other questions, comments, or concerns? This will conclude. Consider the cost. Next time we come back, we're going to talk about being evil. Think I should just keep going and what? Say the same thing another 4 weeks? Oh, keep on going next week? All right. If all hearts and minds, count the cost of being evil. Well, that's basically what we're going to talk about.
See how it just flows one to the next.
Yeah, okay. If all hearts and minds are clear, we will stand and close.
All right, shalom, shalom. Torah, more. Excellent lesson. All right, Mishpachah, all hearts and minds are clear. Stand before our Father. Baruch atah Yahuwah, Eloheinu melech haolam. We give thanks and bless you, Abba Yah, for the wisdom in which you have imparted here today. We are grateful for the redemptive power of your word that transforms our hearts and renews our minds. We are thankful for the opportunity to be in your presence and immersed within your Ruach. We are enriched with the goodness of your truth and the magnificence of your light. And we pray that we become the living examples of that truth and the reflections of that light. Help us to be righteous ambassadors of your kingdom and embody the word that we share of your good news to others. Bless your servant and prosper him in your way. Bless the Morim, the Sharim, Hazakanim Shalenu, our elders, and all who guard your truth and labor in your kingdom. We are humbled and grateful to be called into the service of your throne and pray that we honor you in all in which we say and do. We speak a blessing over the nourishment of the meal that will be shared. We give thanks for the finances that contributed to it and speak blessings over the hands that have prepared it. Hear this prayer, and may our supplications be an acceptable offering before you. We thank you, we love you, we honor and worship you, magnify and exalt you, Abba Yah, as we present this offering in the blood, power, authority, and name of our risen King and your beloved Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. Hallel to you, Yahuwah, and barak the name of Yahushua. Amen. Selah. Shalom, shalom, Mishpachah. I love you, too.